All right, hello, boys and girls. So today we're gonna go looking over the packet that was passed out. Now, if you didn't pick it up, I'll give you some instructions later on in the video on how to download it. But if you didn't get this packet, just get a sheet of paper out, or just get out your notes on your phone, or whatever you can to write down the answers. Okay, so all you're gonna do is write down the answers, and I'll show you how to turn it in at the end. All right. So just pay attention and let's get to some learning, all right? So we're going to talk about Southern Africa because that's the first part of this packet right here that was passed out. Okay, the school wants us to concentrate on this more. So we'll get this done first, and then hopefully once we're done with the packet, we'll get into some other stuff later, all right? So like I said, we're gonna go over Southern Africa, okay? And we're gonna go over the geography of Southern Africa. Try to make this as quick as possible, all right? So these are the vocabulary words. We'll go over them as we go along. This is Southern Africa. Everything that's in gray right here at the bottom is Southern Africa. Okay, Madagascar is part of Southern Africa. Malawi, Zimbabwe, a bunch of weird names that I have a hard time pronouncing. So like I said, if you want to read along about them or look them up, here's the countries, all right? So, or the name of the country, excuse me. So let's go ahead and just get started, all right? So we're going to do what we usually do. We're going to just, read the questions, find them over here as quickly as possible. I'll try to show you some more stuff. That way it's not as boring. We can be able to get this done as quickly but as fun as possible, all right? So the first part says India, or the Indian Ocean, excuse me, and the Atlantic Ocean meet where? Where do they meet? So they want to know where those two meet. So let's go ahead and read along, all right? So it says Southern Africa includes 10 of the southernmost countries on the African continent. It also includes 4 independent islands, countries, and 2 French territories off the east coast. Doesn't talk about that yet. So let's keep reading. It's bordered between Indian Ocean. Hey, there's one right here that we're looking for. Now, it's bordered on the Indian Ocean at the east and the Atlantic Ocean on the west. So Atlantic Ocean. Doesn't say where they meet, not yet. So several of these countries, however, are landlocked, meaning they have no borders with an ocean or the sea. So what does that mean? Is that we have these countries here, here, and here. They are nowhere close to any form of water. Okay, so that's what they mean. They're locked between land. Let's keep working. Okay, so the two countries meet at Cape of Good Hope. So, hey, we found our first answer. So this, we're going to write that over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. Let me make that E look a little bit more like an E. This one too. So Cape of Good Hope is our first answer. Now let's read on the next one. It says, highlight the 3 names of the major river systems in Southern Africa. All right, so let's go ahead and read. It says several of the countries are quite large. Doesn't talk about water systems here. On the other end of the range, Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world. So let's just talk about Madagascar, okay? Just like the movie Madagascar, it's the same place. We're not going to get too much into that because that's not what we're looking for. It's asking for 3 major water systems, so that's not important. Okay, so let's continue reading. So here it says several of the countries are quite large and made up of a series of plateaus. So if you don't remember what plateau is, let's look it up real quick. So a plateau just means a high vantage point of a mountain. So basically these things here, all right? So these are what plateaus can look like, the very top of a mountain, basically, or just a random mountain in a desert. Africa has those as well. Now, it says here that there is one called the Great Escarpments. So an escarpment is a steep cliff between a higher and lower surface. So this is how it looks like. Let's look it up real quick. So images. So basically just kind of like a round kind of edge here. So these are different pictures of which you can see as an escarpment. That one looks funny. All right, back over here. So this still has nothing to do with major water systems, this either. A strip of desert called the Namib lies between the Great Escarpment. Still has nothing to do with water systems, so we don't really have to read any of this here. All right, here, the three major river systems is the Zambezi, the Limpopo, and the Orange. Okay, so we found our three major water systems right here. So this one right here, this one right here as well, and this one. Okay, so the Zambezi, the Limpopo, and Orange. Now, I'm probably not pronouncing these correctly, but I don't live in this country, so I wouldn't know how to pronounce these correctly. All right, so let's go on to number 3, and it says, what is a reservoir? Okay, so let's look through here, and as you can see, it's in bold. This is what a reservoir should mean. It says, dams have built, let's underline that. So dams have been built to store water in an artificial lake called a reservoir. So a reservoir is basically a fake or artificial lake, because artificial just means that it's not real. So it says, how do reservoirs differ from natural lakes? So I just told you, it's an artificial lake, so it's not real. So reservoir are artificial. And natural lakes are real. Okay, so you can go ahead and write that down if you need to. Okay, so which type of landforms is common in southern Africa? So landforms, we don't want to remember what landforms means. Definition, landforms are natural features of Earth's surface. Okay, so which type of landform is common in southern Africa? So let's look over here. This is just talking about water systems, so this is not gonna help us whatsoever. Okay. So let's read down here. So a number of flat basins called pans are found in southern Africa. So number of flat basins. Let's look up what a basin is. Basin is a British, okay, let's look up what that looks like here. So it could either look like this or this here. So I'm gonna go with this over here. All right. So that is a landform. Now they also have this here called the Etosha pan. Okay, so let's look up what that means. Let's look what here. So this right here. So that is a landform or natural feature of nature. So let's go ahead and include both of those here, okay? So we're gonna write, no, let's just write one. So we're gonna write this. Etosha Pan. Okay, so that will right here. Okay, let's go on to the next page. So climate, we're going to talk about weather for a little bit, okay? So it says, underline the sentence that tells when most of the rain falls in the area with a tropical wet, dry climate. So let's see. The Tropic of Capricorn crosses the midland of southern Africa. Northern island of the northern Zimbabwe have tropical wet and dry climates. Most rainfall in spring, summer, and fall from October to May. So here it says, underline the sentence that tells most of the rainfall in the areas with a tropical wet, dry climate. So I think we found our answer here, because it says most rainfalls in the spring, fall from October to May. Okay, yeah, that was our answer right there. So let's keep going. It says, how are plants able to grow in Namibia Desert, which receives little to no rainfall? So we're looking for this country right here. So let's look for it, scan through it through here together if we can. So let's see. They don't mention that country here. Let's move on to this one here. Most of the southern temperatures, climates are not making. Okay, in much of South Africa, central Namibia, eastern and southern, hot summer days are warm and winters are cool. Okay, doesn't say anything much there. The forest and sometimes freezing temperatures in the high plateaus. And annual rainfall, with most rainfall falling during the summer, very little during the rest of the year. Droughts are common and last for years. Okay. Very much of. Okay, right here. Gets little rain in some years and no fall. Fog and wet dew provides some moisture along the small plateaus for plants to survive. Okay, so this is our answer right here. Fog and dew. So let's look up here what fall. We know what fall looks like, but let's look up what dew looks like. So dew is something we usually see in the mornings. All right, so it's provided by fog. You usually see it in the mornings, and no, it's not Mountain Dew. And it's just little water droplets that come out from fog. Okay, so anything like this, like this. Okay, so we found our answer right there. So for number 6, we're going to write fog and dew. Okay, boys and girls, so number 7 and number 8, we're not going to do those. You can do them on your own if you want. If you get them correct, I'll give you some extra credit. If you don't, well, it doesn't count against you, right? We're just going to concentrate on 9, 10, 11. Number 1 on the writing check for understanding, we're not going to do. We usually don't do them because they're really hard. All right, so it says here, highlight the names of the countries that produce oil and natural gas, all right? So we're going to highlight those. I'll highlight them in yellow. So here it talks about the Southern Africa is the country's richest region of natural resources. Republic of Southern Africa has some of the largest reserves in the world. It doesn't talk about oil anywhere here. It talks about coal and iron, but we're not talking about those things here. Or that's not what we're looking for, is what I'm trying to say. Because we're looking for oil and natural gas. So let's keep looking. So here it talks about Southern Africa. this country and this country produce mine, so that is, or they mine coal, so that's not correct. Mozambique and Alundra have the largest deposit of natural gas, so that's our first answer here. So this one right here and this one here produce natural gas. So if you're writing this down on a piece of paper, you're going to put write the names of the countries that produce oil and natural gas, and those countries, you're going to put this country here and this country here. Let's keep looking because we haven't looked for oil yet. So let's keep looking. So the same country here, Angola, is one of the leading oil producers. So that one you write again. And then it says right here, Namibia also has oil and natural gas. So it's three countries. This country right here, this country here, and this country all produce those things. So your answer is this here. Okay, so this and these are your answers. And you can just write them down. All right, so here it says, why is poaching against the law? So poaching is killing illegally, like killing animals illegally. So that means you don't have a permit. So why would poaching be against the law? Well, remember when they give you a license, and any of you that have been hunting before, if they give you a license, you get a certain limit of how many animals you can kill. So I know with deer, you're allowed to take like 4 or 5 doves, depends on dove season, how many you can take. But the limit for most animals is like maybe like 5. Like if you go fishing, I don't know, I guess about 5 or 10 fish, you know. So why is poaching against the law? Well, maybe people can overhunt. So we can write that here. Or overhunt or overkill animals. So why is that a problem for people to overkill animals? Well, if you overkill animals, then they're gonna go extinct. And extinct means they're not gonna exist anymore. So people can overkill animals. That's a good answer you could put here. If you put that, you can. This is basically you can write whatever answer you want, but that's what I'm gonna put there. Here it says deforestation affects the energy supply of the region, or how does deforestation affect the energy supply of a region? So let's read along here. Let's try to find the word deforestation, okay? So the rivers, falls, and surrounding deforestation. Here we go. So deforestation, however, allows more sediment to enter the river. So sediment, let's look up what that means. Material that settles on the bottom of liquid or whatever. So let's look up what that looks like here. So sediment, basically rocks. So deforestation means that more rocks will enter the river. Okay? And if there's more rocks or boulders that enter the river, it reduces water flow and electricity can be produced. Okay, so basically it's saying that if there's more rocks entering the river, it means that it's going to affect how the electricity is produced, meaning maybe they won't produce as much electricity as fast as they can because, you know, rocks are blocking the flow of water. So what we can write here is, effects how, okay, so how it reduces water flow. Okay, so it that's basically our answer there. It reduces the water flow because remember they depend on water or hydroelectric energy, and if anything slows down the water, well then electricity will get um, produced at a slower rate, and that means that they're probably gonna have to raise the electricity bill. All right, so that's it for physical geography of Southern Africa.